Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia, with producer Zach in the building for an Eagles-Packers wildcard round live preview show, a pregame show.
Zach's got his big pack of gummy bears he walked down with.
Zach comes down with gummy bears. It's like, like the CBS or Fox Sports pregame shows. Like it's now the Paul Farrington Show pregame.
He's just recovering here from his issue. A big pack of gummy bears here.
Ziggy, how are things down at Virginia?
It's we just had a huge snowstorm. Actually, the city of Richmond was almost without water. They were without water for a while, but Charlottesville, we're just chilling. I'm teaching a class tomorrow. My first time teaching a class on my own. My students are going to struggle. We're having a great time here.
Ziggy, despite being at a rather very well-known university, it seems that you have in a real place. Virginia's a real place here. It's not like you're off in the middle of nowhere. Ziggy, every time we talk to him, is like, oh, horrific thunderstorm tonight. Like biblical proportions. The thunder is like I have to cover my ears or else I'm gonna get damaged done. The thunder's so loud. There's always some crazy weather going on down in Virginia. I never would have known.
Is UVA like that known of a school? Like it's like a big time university?
It's one of the 20 or 25 best colleges in the country.
I think he's just screwing with you.
Ahead of Marist?
No, not ahead of Marist. Marist is number 3.
Oh, sweet.
All right.
The ranking, if you go up the U.S. News and World Report rankings, it goes Harvard number 1, Yale number 2, Marist
3. Then like Notre Dame 4.
Yeah, Notre Dame 4.
Nice.
Gosh, the football right now, it's too much. I'm having football overload with Notre Dame making this run to the national championship and the Vikings playing tomorrow night, the Packers-Eagles game today that we're doing for the show. Like it's awesome. And this Bills Broncos game for the most part has been decent today as well. We'll have, if anything crazy goes on, I guess we'll have some live reactions during the game here. So
apparently
let's take a look.
Like Ladd. This
Ladd?
Packers 2010. I'm guessing Ladd McConkey.
Who, you?
Yeah, he said I figured out yesterday. Zach looks like Ladd with a helmet on.
Well, you're just better than he is, but I see the similarity.
The Ladd McConkey. Ladd had a good game. What did he go for, like 180 yards?
Broke some record, right?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. That one catch he had was great. So
Zach's a tougher, stronger guy, I bet, though.
Packers Eagles. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna do the Q&A, of course, with the chat. Keep dropping questions in, guys. It can be on anything. We're gonna probably go for about an hour here, just having fun. We're not gonna get too into the weeds like we do on the preview show. If you still want to check that out, you can go check it out. Although game time is rapidly closing in. We're going to do the top 10 Packers and Eagles. That'll be fun. The way we do our joint power rankings. And then, of course, we'll have some game picks as well. Appreciate everybody in the chat here right now. We see a bunch of people. Let us know what you guys think is going to happen. Doesn't have to be a question. If you want to share your opinion on the game, let us know if you think the Packers or Eagles will be winning, assuming we have more Packers fans in the chat than Eagles fans.
Let's have an opening poll
right now
before you and I discuss the game. Just who's winning, Packers, Eagles.
Packers, Eagles. Yeah, that's a great initial poll. Zach MF says, "Bro, it sucks living in Richmond."
Oh yeah, Richmond's terrible. I feel for you, Zach MF.
Well, you got two colleges there, right? You got VCU, you got Richmond. It can't be that bad. I've driven through it before.
It's pretty bad.
Really?
Ziggy, Jack, and I, so we were down in Florida for the Notre Dame game this week, and on the way down to Florida, I realized I've never been on a flight to somewhere tropical where the vibe is not immaculate. Like, we had the guy next to us, he's like, oh, I'll have some whiskey on the rocks. He's cheersing me. I have my water. Like, he's just having a great time. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's taking off their sweatshirts. Get off the flight, and everyone just goes like, oh, this is beautiful.
And you see like palm trees.
Planes are
and
for working.
Planes are for what?
Working. Like, that's when I'm on a plane, I take out my philosophy book, I take out my computer, I start cranking out emails, I start writing drafts.
That's
like, you don't relax on a plane.
What?
Like, what do you watch a movie, take a nap?
Yeah.
Have whiskey on the rocks?
No.
You work on the airplane.
Planes for me is getting drunk and sleeping.
Getting drunk and sleeping on the plane?
And then landing in your beautiful destination. But the plane ride home sucks.
All right, so let's get into the game a little bit here. The poll, I'm going to vote for the Eagles just to even things out here. Yeah, a ton of Packer fans right now. So, Ziggy, give me your initial impressions right now on Packers Eagles as we're coming. Not initial impressions, I guess your last impressions on Packers Eagles. We did the game picks. I'm pretty sure I had Philadelphia, Jack had Philadelphia, and Ziggy, did you go Packers in our game preview? I'm trying to remember.
I think I took the Eagles.
Okay, are you still on Philadelphia now that the game is about an hour away?
It's a tricky one. If the Eagles were if I could count on them to be fully healthy and everything, they're clearly the better team than the Packers. I hate to come in here and say it, but it's just true.
Why do you hate to say that?
Because we got a room full of Packers fans watching this video. But here's the fact. Even though the Eagles are the better team, there's a lot of volatility going for the Eagles right now. Jalen Hurts is coming back from a concussion. He's done a good job taking care of the ball all year, but he's rusty. And this defense, while it's been very, very good, they've got some vulnerabilities too. So if you're a Packers fan and you're looking at this game, I think the Packers' run defense is one of the best in the NFL. I think they've got a real chance of limiting Saquon Barkley. Limiting him here probably means 100 yards and a touchdown. I think if Saquon does only that to you, you're feeling pretty good. This game comes down to Jalen Hurts, how he's feeling and whether he can play great football right out of the gates. And I'm not sure we're going to see that today.
Yeah, the injuries to both quarterbacks is going to be something to watch as they come out in the first quarter. You know, Jalen Hurts hasn't been there for a while. Jordan Love got banged up a little bit last weekend against the Bears. These are not exactly the healthiest teams in the world coming into this game, but yeah, you're totally right. I'm going to have my eye on that as well. Jack, are you still on the Eagles as well?
Yeah, well, look at this. Are you surprised? The poll is closed. We got 83% say the Packers going to win.
Oh, and an upset.
Yeah, I mean, 83% of the voters here are just taking Green Bay. But Green Bay, yeah, this is, like I've said, Philly being the number 2 seed, hosting a game. Green Bay is not the team they want to see in the first round. Like, Green Bay is more of that divisional round opponent type feel. But to see him before the divisional round, it's scary. I don't think Philly wants that.
This is the best 7 seed in NFL history.
But I don't think Philly wants that. I mean, this same team in Dallas last year, a team who didn't lose one game at home all season. I thought Dallas would blow them out. Green Bay went in there and they blew out Dallas. I do think I feel similar about last year. I think Philly now blows out the Packers today. But again, this team has surprised me before. I just think that, like you said, like Jalen Hurts has done such a good job of taking care of the ball all season. They're just so dynamic. Their defense is also one of the best in football. They're playing at home.
And the defense has gotten better as the year's gone on.
I have a hard time. I think right now it's the toughest team in the NFL. Philly's
The thing about Jalen Hurts is when he's had his weak games, it's been playing mostly zone-heavy NFL teams. It's sort of a flip from what we've seen Jalen Hurts in the past. It used to be the way to beat him was to play man coverage and just zero blitz him every play. He's figured that out. But as he's gotten better at that, he's been only, if you look at the numbers, he's been close to league average against zone defense in the NFL. Paul, quick question for you. Which team in the NFL plays the most defense, zone defense?
I have no idea.
Green Bay Packers.
No. Okay.
Number 1, the zone heaviest team in the field. You could have predicted that.
Yes.
I have never, ever picked against Philly at home in the playoffs.
It's a tough place to play,
and
man.
I won't do it today. So I think Philly is just too much. I got the Eagles. I got the Eagles covering too.
But look, if I'm looking at this game, Jalen Hurts, there have been very few games where he has been asked to do a whole lot. He's been efficient. He's played well. He's been a great runner, but he has not been asked to beat a lot of teams with his arm. I think the Packers are at least good enough on defense, particularly on run defense, to force him to do that. And we just don't know what will happen if you can make Jalen Hurts do that.
Well, I mean, but that all starts with stopping Saquon or slowing down Saquon Barkley first, and that's so much easier said than done. You know what I mean? You have to be able to slow down Saquon before you can make Jalen have to make throws. And part of the problem with the Eagles is even if you don't believe in Jalen Hurts that much, when you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, they can cover up a lot of weaknesses, those guys. It's kind of like, you know, we're talking a lot of Notre Dame, Ohio State lately. People who are down on Will Howard go, yeah, but he has unbelievable receivers to throw to. So even if you don't like Jalen Hurts, and I think everyone on this show does like Jalen Hurts quite a bit, even if you don't believe the weapons he has around him, I mean, it's as good as it gets in the NFL. So there's just so many layers to this Eagles offense. Then you add in a great offensive line. It makes me think that Green Bay, what they failed to do in the first matchup earlier in the season in week 1, when they had the opportunity early in the game to kind of put their foot on the gas and take control, they floundered in the red zone. They came away with, what was it, 2 field goals, I think it was, off the Eagles' turnovers early. This is the kind of game that can't happen, especially in Philly. They're not on a neutral site. When Green Bay has their chances, they have to convert red zone opportunities to touchdowns, or else I think Philly can run away with it.
This Green Bay defense has been good. I believe it's what, a top 8 defense in points allowed all year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and EPA per play, it's top 5.
In that game, it should have been 14-0 Green Bay.
And who knows where it goes from there?
Yeah, and but I do have a hard time seeing Philly kind of sloppy at home. So I don't know if Green Bay will get those
Well, Philly
opportunities.
has been a little sloppy. I mean, remember the Panther
Well,
game?
they started games a lot, like very
Jaguars?
slow.
Yeah,
They started
like-
games very slow. Yes, but
I
if
don't
that
think
happens
this is a
again,
world-beating Eagles team. I think they have world-beating potential, but they haven't been.
I mean, they're close to world beating.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
think
don't know.
there's
They're
some
two
But-
worst games of the season, I think, in wins. I'm setting aside the beginning of the season, but like that close game to the Browns at home, that close game to the Jaguars at home, that close game to the Panthers at home. Like they've played some bad teams bad at home. If the Packers can get off to a hot start, which is easier said than done, especially with Watson out, I don't know. I can see it.
I mean, they have started games fairly slow, Philly. We've seen it a number of times. And
Let's
if
see.
that type of start does happen again, like it did week 1, Green Bay can't be kicking field goals.
Yeah, so just going into the chat a little bit, a bunch of people are saying that Evan Williams and Quay Walker are officially active. That's huge for Green Bay.
We got a couple super chats to get to.
Go ahead.
First
You
of
want
all.
to read those out?
This one, we got one from Linsky, our number one fan in Serbia, saying we need you to collab with the Goat House crew. It'd be so fun. We'll think about it. Maybe we'll
I'll
reach
write it
out
down
to
right
them.
now. Goat House crew.
And then we've got one from Obenrick saying, is the Packers the easiest game in the playoffs, the Super Bowl?
So you got-
You know, it sounds crazy to say that, but if you look at who they've got to play, they probably have to play Philly, then Detroit, then if they win that, I don't know, maybe the Vikings,
think-
maybe whatever's
no.
in the NFC.
I think their easiest game would be the NFC Championship. Assuming
Yeah, because they'd have beaten Philly and Detroit.
Does it get progressively easier
but then you get
each game?
well, I think Detroit and Philly is kind of the
I
same.
think going
but-
to Philly is a little harder than going to Detroit for Green Bay. So you go to Philly,
Yeah.
you go to Detroit, you go to wherever, Minnesota, Washington, or the Bucks, and then or the Rams.
I mean,
or the Rams.
Super Bowl, you figure you got the Bills, the Ravens, or the Chiefs.
They're all hard. I mean, this would be. We
They-
talked about the Chiefs' path last year, going on the road to Buffalo, going on the road to the Ravens. Obviously, the Dolphins they beat down, but good Miami team, and then San Francisco as one of the toughest Super Bowl paths ever. This would be right up there with it.
I think the easiest is probably the NFC chip. Whoever that.
But that's still on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
You know
not
what I
saying
mean?
it's easy. I just think it's the
Mhm.
easiest.
So you're really just down on the Vikings here.
Well, I think Green Bay could be.
They could.
No, I don't think you make the NFC chip. Minnesota.
Don't make
I think the Bucks will.
Justin says, where was Jack during the Paul, Ziggy, and Bass show? Chasing 7-Eleven chicks?
Yeah, actually, not chasing, but I was able to not just chasing, but able to accomplish too. This time I didn't meet just one. I met two. So
Over there by the slushy machine.
and unfortunately,
What flavors are you mixing, ladies?
I will say that these two girls are both Eagles fans, and we had a super fun night. So that's why I'm back in
Good-
the Eagles
good
minus
Lord.
4.5.
Good Lord.
Unfortunately, we had our Slurpees. We watched Netflix. Things got steamy.
All right, well, the Broncos...
I started saying "Go Birds." They said "Go Birds" back.
Broncos Bills looks like it's just about over
We were
now.
drinking green slushies.
All right,
we were having
wrap it up.
cheesesteaks.
All right,
I put cheesesteak on my chest, and I won't go in detail, but
God. Let's go to the Q&A. Ziggy, do we have any Q&A questions?
Go Birds.
We've
Go
got a few
Birds.
interesting Q&A questions.
Please keep
here.
dropping them in there, guys. My Lord, what the hell just happened?
The first one, this is not football related, but it's from a member, so we're going to read it first. From XX Zeppelin XX.
Bills were a lot.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Like a weird superpower or
It says any superpower.
any superpower in the world?
Jack's X-ray vision. We already know.
Yeah, either that or go invisible.
Invisibility
Oh.
over flight.
I mean, being able to fly would be super sick, but there are planes.
Ziggy, if I take flight, can I assume that like I have some degree of super strength along with that?
No.
Oh, then I think I'd probably die flying at some point.
Also,
You
there's
have
also-
whatever you like when you're flying, you get it, but you can't like lift a car. or
Oh
whatever,
yeah. I
that's
just
right.
mean like if I like fly
You have
to a
whatever is
tree.
needed to make the power basically.
Yes, okay. I would take flight then. But out of the weird superpowers, like one that I thought was really cool from I saw my girl Olivia Rodrigo say this. She said the ability to
Stop
see
with that
your own
finger, Ziggy.
dreams.
Stop with that finger.
See
I
your own
swear.
dreams.
No, this is we're keeping this question short.
All right, see your own dreams. I think would be cool to rewatch them on like a DVD. I think that would be a really cool power.
I'd be invisible.
Okay, Ziggy, next question.
With X-ray vision, you'd
All right.
see
What
dudes
about
too,
Ziggy?
and that would
Ziggy
turn.
didn't say his.
Yeah,
Next
what's your-
question, we've got
Ziggy,
Cameron
wait.
Uda. Well, I have to answer.
Yeah, you have to answer.
The
Wait, what do
ability
you
to
mean?
make perfect deductions from all the information I have available. You could know basically anything.
Well, that sounds like what is that from? What
Professor X.
no.
Well, he doesn't
That's-
have that.
Yeah.
Indiana
So this one's
Jones.
from
Oh,
Cameron
Memory School.
Untic. Which position group is going to be an X factor in the game for either team?
Running back.
Line of scrimmage.
Well, line of scrimmage is not a position, Jack.
Well, unit.
Well,
you said unit.
You know what I mean?
Are you
Yeah, I'm
talking like-
talking about.
Position group.
Yes,
Oh,
okay, so the lines.
No, you need to pick a position for it to be a position group.
I think he's going a little too far here.
I think that's absurd. Yeah,
Can you at least
But-
pick offensive line or defensive line?
yeah, that's a position group.
No, which one? Just pick one of them. You can't pick both.
Say Packers D line.
No, I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna say Packers D line. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have
Like-
to,
like-
be able to get
Yeah,
slow
like I mean,
down
if like,
Saquon, get
like if
after
you can like
Hurts.
somewhat contain Barkley, if you can try to pressure Hurts a little bit. I mean, it's got to be the Packers D line. Yes.
I'm gonna go with the Packers cornerbacks going against Devontae and AJ Brown. No
Good,
Jair.
good.
No Jair there. I think there's the potential that they could get lit up. So I'm watching them the whole game. If they come out and early on it looks like all right, they could stick with these guys. The Packers defense to me will give a great indication of how this game's going to go early on in the game. What about you, Ziggy?
For me, it's got to be, this is on both sides, the linebackers. For the Packers, obviously, I think Quay Walker, and in particular, Edgerrin Cooper, I think he might be the single most important player for this Packers defense.
Isaiah says that as well. He goes linebacker play.
Yeah, linebacker play is going to be key. And then under the radar, I'm not sure how many people realize this because he got named a first-team All-Pro, and it seems like nobody cares. But the Eagles have probably the best inside linebacker in all of football in Zach Bond. Like, he's had an incredible
Very
year,
quiet.
sort of out of nowhere.
James Bond.
Yeah, so I think for both these teams, a linebacker play is going to be what decides the game.
Anything else in the Q&A right now? Or we had
Let's
two
see.
questions. we only had two questions.
We got one from XX McLovin. Isn't it crazy Green Bay is now the second youngest team in NFL playoff history, only slightly younger than last year's team, which was number one?
That is crazy. Yeah, after last year's team being no, it's amazing how quickly the Packers have had this turnaround from the end of the Rodgers era to where they are right now. It's been pretty crazy.
Xfinity
One-
Bar is probably on fire right now. They got the beers going.
All right, Ziggy, any more questions? Then we can
We
get
got
to
one
these
more
top 10.
question, then we'll get to our rankings. This one's from the Hash God. Do you think if the Packers had a true number one wide receiver, some of the close games would have possibly been wins? I'll take a shot at answering that. I really think so. I think there have been several games where the Packers have just needed like anybody to step up and make a catch and get the offense going. And this is one of the things that makes teams like the Vikings and actually like the Eagles so dangerous, is when the passing game's not going, you can just say, F it, I'm going to give it to Justin Jefferson, or F it, I'm going to give it to A.J. Brown. And more often than not, that works and gets something going, especially with Christian Watson out. The Packers just don't have that. Jaden Reed is inconsistent. We talked about this in our game preview with Boss. Like the Packers have just been so inconsistent on offense. It's hard not to believe that like a true number one wide receiver, doesn't have to be like one of the best in the league, but just a good number one would have made a difference for getting the offense more consistent.
I actually think they're clearly missing it, Ziggy. Over the past few weeks when I'm watching Green Bay play, we take turns kind of praising the Packers receivers on this show because every now and then you'll have Jaden Reed will pop off. Christian Watson has his games. Dontavian Wicks has been pretty quiet most of the season, but Romeo Doubs, particularly the game that he came back from the suspension, remember, was really good, had 2 touchdowns. But then you could also look at every single one of these guys' game logs, and there's games where they totally disappear. Part of that is a nature of the Packers offense having so many mouths to feed. Another one is part of that they're not like dominant receivers the way that you might have a Justin Jefferson be or a Jamar Chase. And you can't just pluck those guys off trees. You know, they're not all over the place. We're talking about the best receivers in the league. But I do think that there have been times this year when everybody's a little bit off, and even Jordan Love is off. And I go, man, it would be great for them to just have someone you could say, screw it. We're going to just pound the rock to this guy, and he will make plays because he's that good. Even the Steelers do that with George Pickens.
That's
remember
what I
the
was gonna-
touchdown
well,
yesterday?
That's what I was going to say is you look at a lot of these teams, they have somebody who can kind of bail you out, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, whether it's Justin Jefferson, whether it's even like George Pickens. Like we threw him a couple deep balls yesterday, he comes down with it. Green Bay doesn't really have that. AJ Brown. And the teams that also don't, right, are the teams like Baltimore. But you got Derrick Henry, you got Lamar using his legs, Buffalo with Josh Allen, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, and Jordan Love is not in the tier with those guys. And I feel like a lot of these teams either have that number one elite superstar, that like X factor receiver, or a future Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
And the Packers kind of lack both that, which is a bit of a problem.
In all the contenders.
Here's where that difference really shows up, right? You look at the teams with the most drop passes. Number 1, Cleveland Browns. Number 2, Jets. Terrible teams. Number 3, the Green Bay Packers with 33 drop passes this year. Who is the least drop passes? The Eagles. They've had 7 drops all year, that's an unbelievably low number. The next lowest is the Lions with 12. So just the consistency that you can get when you've got top wide receivers not dropping the ball, like drops can kill a drive. Sometimes it feels almost as bad as an interception when a guy drops the ball on a critical third down. You just have to punt. So yeah, consistency matters.
Their offense felt unstoppable at times last season. And, I mean, really much of the final 10 games, they felt unstoppable. And this year it's hit or miss. They have 2 or 3 drives in a row where you go, how can anyone cover these guys? And then they'll have possessions where you're just like, this is brutal. and Josh Jacobs has to do everything. So you need another big game from Josh on the ground. And the Eagles' run defense has been so good that it's not. I don't want to make it sound like we're talking highly about the Eagles because they've been great all season. But the Packers can very easily. Like I can easily see a world where the Packers go in and get a win today.
I can't.
Just to put, to put that drop stat in perspective, the Packers are 30th in pass attempts per game. They've had 33 drops on 28 pass attempts per game. So basically, you take an entire game's worth of pass attempts and make them a drop.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I'm seeing a lot of apologies here for the Steelers, and I will say thank you for the condolences. I didn't really expect much. Happy we made it.
You knew exactly what was coming.
Yeah, but I will ask these Packers fans, where would you want to join me next week on vacation? Cayman Islands, Cancun, want to go to Cabo, want to go to South Florida, like wherever you guys want to go, I'll tag along with you.
Season's over.
Season's done. Over. So you guys can join me on our little vacation in the off season now.
So
in about 3 hours.
Let's get into here. We did this for the Vikings the Packers and the Lions earlier in the year. We're gonna do the top 10 players in this game. And we're going to do it the same way we do with our joint power rankings, where we'll start with Ziggy. It'll go to me. Then it'll go to Jack. And we'll just keep on going through. Ziggy, what are you chuckling at here?
It's I thought of a funny joke, but I'll just say it. We'll answer the question. Oben Rick puts out $5 here. Can Josh Jacobs outperform Saquon? We're going to find that out, what we think during this joint power ranking. So stay tuned.
All right. So, Ziggy, why don't you start off here? We'll go 10-1. And I'm sure that we'll leave out a great player. Saquon will probably find a way to miss this list or something.
Knowing us, yeah.
Yeah. Ziggy, give us the number 10 player in Packers-Eagles.
Number 10, I'm picking a player. He's had a bit of an up, bit of a down. He's a really important player for the Packers. I'm putting in Jaden Reed. No, sorry, I'm kidding. I'm not putting in Jaden Reed. Edgerrin Cooper comes in at number 10 here. I know it might feel early to say he's one of the best players in this game because we haven't seen a ton from him. He's a rookie. He hasn't played tons of games. But we've said it a few times on this show. When he's playing in the game, he feels like the most electric player on the field. He's a critical part of this Packers defense. It's early. I know we haven't seen a lot from him, but I'm willing to put my foot down. I think he's a top 10 player in this game.
I think he's been playing like it right now. The way that he's looked over the past few weeks since coming back from injury, every time I'm watching the Packers defense, I'm hearing Edgerrin Cooper this, Edgerrin Cooper that. I like it, Ziggy. I think that there are probably a couple players that people will say we're going to leave off and then maybe should be above Edgerrin Cooper. But with the way he's been what a resurgence he's brought to the Packer defense. I think we'll have a lot of yeses here. All right, so that brings it over to me with player number 9. And I'm kind of torn here between 2 guys on either side of the Eagles line. I'm going to go with Jalen Carter in this position here. Jalen Carter, still unbelievable to me that he slipped in the draft all the way down to Philadelphia. But since, he had the incident at Georgia and then all the personal issues, and you have these guys fall down the draft boards and just going like pick them for your team. I remember he was on the board for the Bears. I think they traded out the pick. They were the ones who traded out or something, and then they fall the Eagles, and that's when you go Howie Roseman. You'd find another way to get one of these dudes, and he's just been great this season. 81.5 pass rush grade. He's been in the backfield all year. He forces turnovers. I love Jalen Carter as a player.
Yeah, I mean, he had a big time centerpiece of a defense who's top 2 in both yards allowed,
He's
points
the best
allowed.
player. I think he's the best player on the Eagles defense. I know that that people might disagree. I think he's the best.
I don't think he's the best, but I will say I love the Howie Roseman draft strategy. Like, you look at these great college defenses, right? And you just wonder, like, which player's doing the lifting? Which one should I take? Howie Roseman just took every single player on that Georgia championship defense. Figured some of them have to be good. Seems to have worked out.
Yeah. All right. Brings us over to Jack at number 8.
Number 8, I'm going to go with another player on the defensive side of the ball, but this time a cheesehead in Rashawn Gary. I think he's one of the best players on Green Bay's defense. A defense who is top 6 in the league in points allowed, yards allowed, Pro Bowler this year. I believe his first Pro Bowl nod. Put up some good numbers, and I think he's number 8 there.
This will make me change my list a little bit with Gary there. I mean, Rashawn Gary's awesome, but you saw Ziggy was throwing up the X. He had Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, that's where I really thought we were going.
X. I think McKinney's higher.
You're going to run out a spot at the top of this list and feel bad that you put Rashawn Gary, who's maybe, I think he's a borderline top 20 edge rusher in the NFL, in the top 10 players in this game.
Rashawn Gary's awesome.
He's a good player, right? To be top 20 at a position where there's 64 guys starting, that's not bad. But I don't think he's an elite edge rusher, whereas I think every player above him on this list is going to be elite at their position.
I think McKinney's higher than Rashawn Gary.
Okay, so that brings us now to number 7, Ziggy. Where are you going to go here? Let us know if you guys are agreeing with these picks in the comment section, too.
At number 7, this is an interesting pick, and there's a lot of different places I could go. But I talked about him a little bit earlier. I think this guy's gone under the radar, and he's going to be one of the most important parts for the Eagles' defense. I'm putting Zach Bond in here at 7.
Okay, so
he's had a great season. I know it's his first time playing the position.
Who's
so
that?
You wonder, can he hold up? But this guy's first team All-Pro. He's actually one of only 2 Eagles to be a first team All-Pro. He's an incredible player, I think, and a key part of why this Eagles defense is so much better this year than they were last year. He clearly belongs here. If you're the number 1 player at your position in the entire NFL, you get to be in the top 10.
Oh man, this is gonna be hard now because now there are some players here who I do not want to leave out of the.
Did the Eagles still have Riley Cooper?
No, that was like 10 years ago.
Who's this Cooper in the chat everyone's talking about?
Edrin Cooper.
Oh,
You just said him. He's number 10. He's number 10. Okay. Yeah. My gosh, what's going on here?
Jack hasn't been here for a little bit. Let him cook.
Yeah, I was just on vacation. I'm getting back into the swing of things here.
I need to count my numbers here. 4, 5. All right. I think here.
I thought you said Edrin James, that old Colts running back.
I think here
And
I'm
Edrin
going
James is a
to.
monster in NFL
Oh,
Street.
he was great.
I'm going to put Xavier McKinney at 6. Xavier's had a great season. He got off to the really hot start with all the interceptions. Has been as good as advertised for this Packers defense. He is the best player on the Packer defense to me, even if Ziggy and Jack are high on a couple other guys. So I'm gonna put Xavier McKinney at 6.
Wow. No offense. Ziggy's just out here roasting you in the chat. It's crazy.
Ziggy's roasting me?
Yeah. He's just out here.
What?
We gave
6?
him
Oh
some
yeah,
power.
Paul can't count.
Yeah, he's at 6.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm saying it took you a while to get there.
Deplorable garbage. Yes, we'll be drinking beer today.
Spotted cow?
Probably some spotted cow, maybe some Corona. Whatever's
right.
available.
All right.
Jack, you're in at number
you're
5.
Oh, number 5. All right, let me look at my list here. There's a few names I'm considering here at the number 5 position.
This is a horrible list right now.
I don't think it was that bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
I have some questions.
I'm down to several names here. So I mean, obviously, Barkley and Brown are high. They're like 1, 2. Hurts has got to be up there. Love's up there. So 5. Oh Jesus. I guess 5 will go Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
I guess 5 will go Josh Jacobs. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, crucial piece of this
I'm not
Packers
really
offense.
sure what to do with the quarterbacks right now. The quarterbacks, I don't know if they can make the list or not. They kind of have to be on the list, but at the same time.
Well, now it's a pretty obvious top four. You got Brown, Hurts, Love, and Barkley.
Well, that's because I don't think so. All right.
Who else would
Ziggy,
be there?
Are you okay with Josh Jacobs?
I had him at 6 on my list, but fair enough. He belongs.
Okay, go ahead, Ziggy. You're at number 4 now.
At number 4, I know what I want to pick here, but people are going to hate me for doing it. But I'm going to do it anyway.
I know what you want to.
At number 4, we got Jalen Hurts.
I did not think that was.
Here's the thing about Jalen Hurts. There's 2 quarterbacks, and they both belong in the top 4. What's the most important part of being a quarterback? Is it being able to squat a bunch? Is it being able to gain 1 yard consistently? No, it's having an arm. And I care about track record. And you look at the track record for these 2 quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, he's had some up seasons. He's had some down seasons. Jordan Love has had nothing but great seasons in the NFL. So Jalen Hurts, he's pretty good, but the Eagles don't ask him to do a lot. He's got the best weapons in the world, and he still can't outstat Jordan Love. I got Jalen Hurts at 4.
This is the first Love Hurts Bowl in a few months.
I love
The
what
first
I'm about
one
to do.
in the sense the start of the season.
At number 3, I'm gonna put Jordan Mailata.
Who's that?
Along the Eagles. You don't know Jordan
Wait, he
Mailata?
says, who's that?
Wait, so that means you leave out Love, Brown, or Barkley?
I mean, it depends. Like, do you think Jordan Love is playing like a top 10 player in this game right now?
I could see
I mean-
where Brown's not in this list.
I think AJ Brown's got to be in the list.
So I guess we're leaving out Jordan
AJ
Love.
Brown is number 1 on my
people are
list.
gonna be really pissed off there by putting Jordan Mailata.
Oh, also Lane Johnson should be on here too.
No, the Lane Johnson was the guy that I thought you were going to put instead of LaShawn Gary. There's some
Oh.
really good offensive
Yeah.
linemen.
The Rashawn Gary pick was terrible.
Maybe
I meant to say
is that crazy to put Jordan Mailata ahead of Jordan Love?
Yes.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
put
It's
Jordan.
the wrong Jordan.
All right, I'll do Jordan Love.
If
for the
everybody put
sanctity
Lane,
of the
put
list.
who's Mailata? Put Johnson up there.
Just kind of screwing around with Packer fans too. No, okay, I'll put Jordan Love at number 3. I think part of the top 10 list has to be importance of the position as well. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. That's why
that
Love's
has
got
to
to be
play
on.
some-
Yeah.
that has to play some role in it. And Jordan Love, even though we haven't seen the ascension into elite top tier quarterback this season, he still is one of the best in the league and has his moments where he becomes unstoppable. So I'm gonna put Jordan at 3. Jordan Love, that is. Although Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson have been unbelievable.
I just love watching Ziggy put out these polls, and like we expect them to be any different every time we do the same poll. If we could put any random Packer in there. You can make it I don't even know, the 3rd string tackle on the Packers better than Jalen Hurts, and they'll say yes.
It'll be like 70-30. Yeah.
Lakenda does not enjoy this list right now. Lakenda's not happy.
Yeah, he
with
goes
this.
horrible list.
Horrible list. All right.
Hey, look at
so-
the who's better. 85% Love, 15% Hurts.
All right.
right.
Hold on. No, we're putting this to the test.
I mean,
producers.
I
2
think,
and 1.
I think number 2, I'm gonna go with Lane Johnson. Like
It's gotta be AJ Brown.
like Barkley gets a lot of hype here, but if
Has
it's not
to
for
be.
if it's not for Lane Johnson, those holes aren't there for Saquon Barkley.
It has to be AJ Brown.
I don't think Brown's top 10. I think it's Lane Johnson and then one is
Oh, you're locking in Lane Johnson at 2.
I forgot about Lane Johnson.
I
should have put him at 8.
Ziggy,
But
it has to be AJ Brown.
He's got to be in
right?
the top 10.
Yeah, AJ Brown's number 1. I mean, I had Saquon at number 2, so no slight on Saquon, but AJ
Oh,
Brown,
fine.
one of the best.
So I'll put
receivers in the
Saquon at 2 then. I thought you was,
like Saquon's a first-team All-Pro. Lane Johnson's a decent tackle.
I thought you were gonna put him at number 1. So I put.
You know
Lane
what?
Johnson
You know
at 2.
what? So we got Cole in here saying Ziggy looking rough, hungover, or just tired. Producer Zach said before the show, "Do you have a new camera? Because you look great." So you know what, Cole? You're not going to get me down. I don't want to hear it from you.
So, okay, so you guys are deciding between the 2 of you, you're putting Saquon at 2 and AJ Brown at 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
look.
Saquon's a great player, but AJ Brown is both more important to the Eagles offense and the better player. So AJ Brown number 1.
I mean,
I disagree with
I
that,
don't think the holes are there for Saquon without Lane Johnson.
Saquon's unbelievable. Anytime he's ever been healthy in his life, if you said to any Eagle fan takes Lane Johnson or Saquon Barkley, for this
I think
game,
a few might take Lane Johnson.
no one is. If anyone, only idiots are taking Lane, and then you would take Saquon. I know you would take Saquon.
No, I think I take Lane Johnson.
Okay, then maybe Jack.
The Eagles have won Super Bowl. It wasn't LeGarrette Blount a beast there in the backfield.
Cameron says Ziggy looks like a hardworking stud. Deplorable garbage. Ziggy looks like he always does. A champion.
We're putting this to a poll. We're putting this to
Yeah,
a poll.
Lane Johnson or
How
Saquon
Ziggy-
Barkley.
Producer Zach, you were wrong. They said Saquon's better than Keyshawn Nixon.
Yeah, but there's still only a 30%, less than a 30% gap on that one.
Ziggy, put out Lane Johnson or Saquon Barkley.
Saquon should be one. I completely am with you. All right.
For the record,
You're
I am
right,
working
Jack. You need
nights at
water or
the club.
something?
All
Real
right.
quick, if somebody donates,
Ugh.
every time somebody donates $100, Ziggy takes one button down.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
$100,
That's
Ziggy takes
hysterical.
one button
Because
down.
you get one for free.
So a $200 would be 2 buttons.
Yes.
Cole says you've just set the bar high most days. That's right,
fair
Ziggy. You do
enough.
set a high bar. All right, so our top 10 list. Let's know how this is, guys. We got 10, Edrin Cooper. 9, Jalen Carter. 8, Rashawn Gary. 7, Zach Bond. 6, Xavier McKinney. 5, Josh Jacobs. 4, Jalen Hurts. 3, Jordan Love. 2, Saquon Barkley. And 1, A.J. Brown. So we leave off Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson. Is there any other big...
There's center.
No
Jaden
Devontae.
Reed.
No Devontae Smith. No Jaden Reed.
Christian Watts. Oh, he's hurt, right?
Christian Watts is hurt, but
Yeah.
I don't think he has.
He wouldn't make the top 10.
Is anyone else? I think that's about it, right? No other standouts in that chat.
I mean, no
Ziggy,
Evan Williams. That's a big miss.
68% of people say Ziggy's looking great. 31% say hungover and tired. Out of 325 people, that's a lot of people who think you look hungover and tired. That's
Are you hungover, Ziggy?
Only 74 people voted, Paul. Let's ease it there.
Are you hungover?
74.
Are you
Oh,
hungover,
sorry.
Ziggy?
Let's go back. I haven't checked the Q&A in a while. Let's see what we got in our little Q&A. We've probably gotten some new ones. Okay, Anton Ram says Ziggy GPA over under 3.5 at the University of Virginia. We'll put that to a poll. What people think.
3.5 for Ziggy.
I'm going to say over.
What are we doing?
Well, here's the thing is, Ziggy, I absolutely believe that his intelligence is higher than a 3.5 GPA, but I do also know that his papers, like his classes are very tough. In philosophy, they grade pretty strictly. So I don't know if it necessarily correlates to just exactly how smart Ziggy is compared to what the general GPA would be. I would say I'm going to go over. I believe in my boy anyway.
We're going to leave it to the poll for a while. We'll get back to that in a minute. Brad Perocta, member, longtime Lions fan, big supporter of the channel, says Matt LaFleur the third best coach in the division.
Well, you got O'Connell,
Campbell.
Campbell.
And then you're
It
gonna have
sucks because I think LaFleur is obviously a top 10 coach in the NFL. But yeah, I think he's the third best coach in
Yeah,
this
I'd say
division.
it's probably the third best still.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that I would take O'Connell over Matt LaFleur. Dan Campbell, I can see people coming down with different opinions on. I love Dan Campbell. I think he's awesome. But I can see, I think it's closer between Campbell and LaFleur than it is O'Connell and LaFleur. What?
Dan Bullock, he only has one class, underwater basket weaving.
Oh, you
Bob-
got me.
You got to
Bog-
remember, too, the Lions with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. I mean, are you all right over here?
I'm good,
You
good. I had to take my emergency this morning.
No. I would probably say KOC, then Campbell, then LaFleur, but very close.
Ziggy, put out a poll. What do they was my college GPA over under 2.8?
All right, we'll get to that. And is my browser going to crash? My browser might be about to crash. Browser crash.
We got kickoff in 40
How
minutes.
did you even see that?
How did I see what?
Well, how did you know your browser was about to crash?
Because my browser was crashing.
Oh, okay.
It froze on him.
Well, it's pretty obvious actually.
Okay, so
We'll close out. I like the idea of the Jack poll to close out the question on my GPA. We hit the over pretty comfortably.
nice.
I mean, yeah.
Well done, Ziggy.
What's that? 90.
Well done, Ziggy.
What do you get? 90% over.
Yeah, it's over betters. I think the over on that was like minus 700 probably.
Oh yeah, 86%. Wow.
The question is, what is our average GPA combined between me, Ziggy?
I will
Paul,
say
and
I can't remember if I hit the over when I was an undergrad or not. But like in grad school, a B is a fail. An A minus is like you did a bad job. So hitting the over on the 3.5 is pretty easy.
Say was Jack's undergrad GPA over under 2.79.
All right, what else we got,
It's
Ziggy?
shockingly precise.
Have
All
you
right, pulls out.
have you re-uploaded, Ziggy?
Yeah, no, we're here. So the questions, we got other questions. XXF1XX asks, Paul, will you wear the youth large Jordan Love jersey if the Packers win?
Yes, I'll wear that. They win. I mean, I'm rooting for the Packers today. The path that I want is Vikings, Commanders, Packers to win. Packers go and beat the Lions in Detroit. The Vikings beat the Commanders in Minnesota. And the Vikings host the Packers in the NFC Championship game. And I think we've clearly displayed that we own Green Bay this season. And we're in the Super Bowl. It's easy.
I'm going to go watch this game with my two 7-Eleven girls.
Yeah, I think that...
We're going to put our Eagles jerseys on. We're going to have some cheesesteaks.
If the Packers win... but no, because of the deal is when the Packers have like a monumental win that I don't expect them to get, I'll put it on. Sure. No, I won't be... I'm never happy to wear the green gold, but if they beat the Eagles, I'll be a little...
Here's a real question. It's from Big Cheese. Knowing Packers want to establish the run, the Eagles not being a heavy blitz scheme, about how many passes do you think would be necessary for Jordan Love to have an impact on the game? I'm at about 22 attempts, Big Cheese says.
So it's Big Cheese. I guess he's a Packers fan, right?
You don't have to guess.
You got cheesesteak, though, so you never know.
That's a really tough question because it totally depends on the pace of the game. You know what I mean? If they shut down Josh Jacobs, it's going to be on Jordan Love. They'll probably throw over 30 times if Josh Jacobs can't get anything going on the ground. I'd put it closer to I think he'll throw the ball like 26, 20 to 28 times. That'd be my guess.
There's got to be a number, right? There's a betting number on the over pass attempts.
What do you think, Ziggy?
It's as you say, the game script matters, but I think the Packers are going to win this game by Jordan Love making big plays with his arm.
I'm expecting
30 plus.
In the first game, Jordan Love threw 30. Wait, that was Jalen Hurts threw 34. They both threw 34 times. Yeah, all right, I'm over 30 then. I'll go 30. 31 passes for Jordan Love.
There's probably a line. What's the line on his pass attempts?
I'll pull it up. Go ahead, Ziggy. You could go on to the next question.
Open Rick comes in with, would you consider the Packers season under expectations if they're a first round playoff exit?
Yes,
absolutely.
I
think the answer is absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm not a believer in you have to go farther in the playoffs than the year you did before in order for it to be considered a success. But this Packers team felt like they were ready to take the next big step. And unfortunately, if they lose this game, I think it's hard not to look at the season as a little bit of a disappointment. It's not way under expectations. Like, you won games, you made the playoffs in a tough division, but it's definitely under, I think.
I think definitely making it less far than last year certainly is upsetting.
I think it's more about the overall season as well. Regardless of the playoff outcome here, what I see this as is an opportunity for the Packers to salvage an underwhelming regular season. If they beat the Eagles, they get to the divisional round, back on the table, the Super Bowl chances, because you just got to win 2 games and you're there. But I think that on the whole, most Packer fans would say this has been an underwhelming season given the expectations coming in. The defense has probably been it's definitely been better than it was last season. So that's a win right there with Jeff Hafley. I think all Packers fans would say they like Jeff Hafley so far. But the offense and Jordan Love seem to take a little bit of a step back. And that's where I see the disappointment. So I view this game as an opportunity to save a year where if they do lose, it's that was not what we were hoping for.
What doesn't help either, too, is that there was 2 teams with 14 wins in the division, and that was 4 losses right there for Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vikings and Lions really... I didn't mean the Lions.
6 losses, and you have the Lions, Eagles, and... Vikings, plus that Bears.
Yeah, and you go back to preseason expectations. Their win total was 9.5. They were 10th in Super Bowl odds. So they've surpassed that a little bit. But that stuff's not what matters. If they lose a really close game in Philly, I think you can say, all right, this was just a tough matchup. It was a tough division. Sam Darnold will be gone next year. We can beat up on J.J. McCarthy. But I don't know. I think losing this game, especially if they don't cover, not that covering's the end, but if you lose by 7 or more points, it's a disappointing
game. I see what people are saying here, and I agree with them. 11 wins. Cameron says calling 11 wins underwhelming means you're a pretty good team. And Robbie says, I'm pretty happy going from 9-8 to 11-5. Totally with you guys. The 11-5 is a good record. What I'm saying, or 11-6. What I'm saying is that given the opponents they beat and the opponents they lost to, I don't think that was the outcome you wanted coming into the year. They
not beating a single good team.
Yeah, they lost to all the good teams, and they beat the teams they were supposed to. They lost to the teams that were good. And there's something, Jack says that about Ian Book at Notre Dame, which I think is one of Jack's best takes I've ever heard. He said Ian Book won every single game he was supposed to win and lost every single game he was supposed to lose. And that's really hard to do when you look across any level of football, winning every game you're supposed to. And the Packers basically did that up until the Bears. But when you go about that route, you cap yourself because there's only so far you can go if you can't beat the teams that you're not supposed to beat. And that's where I think the Packers fell into this season. And again, this is why they have an opportunity today to sort of rewrite that story.
I cannot believe the poll closed and 51% said no, it'd be under.
Yeah.
51% people think you're...
Jack, what did you hit the over or the under?
My undergrad GPA was a 2.92. So I was over 2.79.
I'm not sure people realize how low a 2.8 is.
If Jack's saying a 2.92, which...
Well,
I mean, but like you can clear a 2.8. Jack could have gone higher than a 2.92 if he wanted to.
I just was lazy sometimes, but even a 2.9 is like a B average.
Yeah.
A 2.79 is low. So I mean, I'm insulted they think it's lower than that.
I thought isn't a 3 a B average, right? Yeah. A 3 is a B.
So Jack is between a B or a B minus. He'd get the average grade in the class I'm teaching.
Right. So I was like a B minus student.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing wrong with that.
Let's see. Let's go to some other questions we got here.
High school's
We've
like
got
2.5.
one from
high school. High
school's like 2.5.
What actually was? Would you share what actually was high school?
High school's 2.85.
So you could be over there too.
Impossible.
So I was over there
was
also.
It actually 2.85?
2.85 in high school, yeah.
This one's from Aiden
Jack's
Niger.
GPA was my BAC in my Army years.
Which Packer receiver needs to step up the most for third downs? I mean, I think third downs, that's probably Romeo Dobbs.
I would agree.
But look, you don't want to get to third down and have to pass in this game. I think that's a recipe for disaster. What the Packers need to do is, and we've seen some people saying this, they need to have a strong RPO game. They need to get Josh Jacobs going, and then you need Jaden Reed for the big play. Like, he's the receiver who needs to step up this game. Jaden Reed is capable. He's one of the few guys capable of putting up 100-plus yards in an NFL game. 150-plus yards. He's done it already this season. He could finish with 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Or he could finish with absolutely nothing.
Look,
he's not the third down guy, right? He's not the guy that you're throwing to on like 3rd and 6, but he needs to have a big game or it's over.
I've been thinking a lot about this, Ziggy. Again, I'm trying to convince myself of Notre Dame beating Ohio State. So my mind is in a different place than the NFL at this point in time. I'm shifting back into NFL mode now. Then I'll be back. It's a weird spot. But any Packers fan who has come out this week and over the past 2 weeks and is just saying like season's over, I think most of them have come back into the believing train. But you have to believe you can win, or you will not win the game. And I think that most people, you got to hope in the Packer locker room that they're all, despite playing poorly, are coming into this game thinking, who cares that we're on the road in Philadelphia? You know, at the end of the day, it's 11 guys on 11 guys. And oftentimes, whoever has more heart is going to win the game. Like, that's what you've seen with the Notre Dame team all year. Yeah, fewer drops. But that's what you've seen with Notre Dame this season. Like, yes, obviously skill is super important, but you got to go out there, believe you can win this game, and it's people on people. The Eagles are not a machine.
The Eagles are a machine.
The Ohio State is not a machine.
They're a machine too.
You need to go out there, execute at a high level, and the will to win has to be higher than your opponent.
I listened to the broadcast yesterday. I mean, it's true. Ravens and Steelers came on air, and I think it was Herb Street was calling the game, and he was saying how if you're Pittsburgh, you can't really look at finishing 0-4. You got to wipe that away. It's a new season.
Screw it.
Like new season now. Yeah. Nonetheless, Pittsburgh got killed, but Green Bay thinks better than us, so they got to have that same mentality.
Can I ask Packers fans a question about my lock of the week? I'm going to put it to a poll.
What is your lock of the week?
My walk of the week, Zigger Zag has had ups and downs, but it's always been known for some strange categories. Like, I got sort of screwed on my Steelers kicker points over. But this game, I'm telling you, I think Jaden Reed, you can get even odds on this, over 1.5 rushing yards. I think LaFleur can't help himself when he's going to call a cute play on a reverse or an end around to Jaden Reed. I really see him getting at least 2 yards this game on the ground.
I love it.
I mean, but if the first play gets blown up, he loses like 5 yards, it's probably over.
Yeah, you're right.
If they give him a reverse and he just gets murdered in the backfield, loses like 3, then that's going to be tough.
Was the Bills?
But I'm going to zig it.
Was the Bills-Broncos line one of the easiest bets in the history of football?
I was pounding it all week. I said there's 2 things you can be certain.
Were you?
Yeah, I said Ravens are covering, Bills are covering.
You want to know the parlay
I said that in our preview. I said those are the 2 things I'm most confident about this weekend.
You want to know the parlay I had today? I had the Bills money line parlayed with Marist basketball money line against Fairfield.
Only person in the
It
world.
might be the only person in the country with that parlay.
Only person ever to have the Bills and.
I don't even, let me see if Marist. I don't know if Marist won.
Marist won 61-51.
And wow, there you go.
They
See?
were down at the half.
So you won. So Jack wins.
So that was the easiest bet of the year.
A lock. Okay. Any more questions, Ziggy? As we get ready, we're about 35 minutes from
Yeah, so
kickoff
this is
here?
your last chance to submit questions. But this is from Cole. Philly cheesesteak or Culver's curd burger?
Philly
Oh.
cheesesteaks actually suck.
Yeah, they're not good.
They're not that good.
I had them a couple of times. I don't understand the hype.
I mean, they're good when you are with some 7-Eleven girls and they're eating them off your body, but other than that, they're not great.
Jack, stop.
I do.
This is a family program.
I'm a Philly cheesesteak fan, but I will go with a great burger any day of the week.
And Culver's is the most underrated chain restaurant in the country.
I've never
No
had
question
Culver's,
about it.
so I probably can't
Wait,
answer
did
the
you say
question.
most underrated?
Yeah.
I think it's just not really. Well, at least here on the East Coast, no one knows about it. Butt Pounder 420. Which one of you has the hottest? Oh my God.
I love that you read them out loud before you even.
We have to read the question. We don't have to answer it.
I have the hottest mom and the most. And the
Which
hottest
one?
dad.
Which one of you has the hottest mom? Which one of you has the most handsome dad?
That's me.
I'm not participating.
That's me for both. Me for both. Actually, Paul's mom's kind of hot. I'd still say me for both.
It's kind of weird that you're saying your own parents are.
Yeah, Legend ZZFN. Sorry, we're not doing a watch party. You won't get to hear any more of this stuff from Jack.
Yeah, we could always do a watch party.
I'm not doing a watch party.
That was so funny, that question. You're right, Zach. I just read it before I even.
Yeah, there was.
Wait, Ziggy.
What was that?
Ziggy.
All right, we can't end on that. Can we get one more super chat or good question?
Ziggy, I don't know what your parents
Just
look like.
one. We've got to end on something.
Very
else.
attractive.
Ziggy, can you see a
people.
picture of your parents, Ziggy?
Yeah.
No.
Well, hi. I can't give an answer if I don't see him.
This has to. I think that this is a
As you could tell,
very attractive
people in the
channel.
chat, we will answer any questions at this
Well,
point.
no, we
'cause
will
Paul
not
just-
answer any questions.
Because
you-
Paul just
Please,
says
put
them
a
out loud
decent
before reading them.
question. Super chat it. Put it in the Q&A. I don't care. We need something else.
I will answer anything that you guys want.
Tim Kramer, my drill sergeant, thought my mom was my girlfriend when I was 19 in Fort Jackson in 06. I beat you all.
Oh, so she was probably pretty hot.
Tim
Dude.
Kramer, picks or didn't happen. Picks or didn't happen. Timmy.
Can we have her number?
All right, great. This is from Matt Nell. This is a game question. As good as the Green Bay linemen are at pass blocking, do you think the mediocre to poor run blocking is an issue for Green Bay's heavy rushing attack that needs to be addressed later?
I'm sorry. Can you reread the question? My mind was in a different place.
Your mom's on your mom?
Were you thinking about your mom?
No. I was thinking about Tim Kramer pulling up a picture. All right, go ahead.
So Matt Nell's asked Green Bay. Oh, Ranger Hawada asked, why aren't your Packers jerseys on? I don't
Only if
have
they
one.
win. Only
Matt
if they win.
Nels says, as good as Green Bay's linemen are at pass blocking, do you think their mediocre to poor run blocking is a problem for their heavy rushing plan that'll need to be addressed this offseason?
I mean, I think Green Bay has to throw the ball like 40 times today to win this game.
Yeah, I think the solution in this game and in the future is not to get better run blocking offensive linemen and hurt your pass protection. The solution is to get receivers that don't come close to leading the league in drops despite being near the bottom of passing attempts.
Yeah,
You got to get it. Whether it's
been
Devontae
better.
Adams, I'm sure it's not, or whomever. I don't think the problem with this Packers team is the offensive line. And the run blocking, frankly, especially through the second half of the season, has been pretty good.
I was just saying, I thought it's gotten better. I mean, I know it's been a problem at times, but I thought it's gotten better.
Don't you think Green Bay has to throw to win this game, though?
Linsky says, did my Rodgers question not get through? I'm assuming.
I didn't. I'm not sure I saw it.
I don't think it did go through.
Rodgers.
'Cause I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, Jack, do you want Rodgers to go to
Linsky asked,
Pittsburgh?
should Rodgers go back on the perks so he can get an MVP? I think it's too late for him.
I have thought about worlds where Aaron Rodgers becomes a Viking next year if Sam Darnold leaves. That has crossed my mind a few times.
No, Aaron
just saying
Rodgers
it's
is
crossed my
not
mind.
going to the Vikings.
I
I
don't
don't care if history repeats itself. It's not happening.
Okay, what else we got here?
I'd hit him in Pittsburgh, too. I'd want him in Pittsburgh. To answer Eddie Lacy's question. I just think he's washed.
Eddie Lacy?
Yeah. I wonder,
Go get
is,
T.
that,
Higgins. That's what the Packers should do. They should go get T.
is that
T. Higgins
actually...
can be legit number one.
Is this actually Eddie Lacy in the chat?
Yes.
Like
I
the
don't know,
Eddie
we actually
Lacy?
had Alan Page come in here and super chat a few shows ago. So
Any more questions, Ziggy? As we
That's,
come up on an hour here?
Wait, Ziggy.
I think that's basically all of the questions we've got.
I think we should let the chat go wild and ask any question they want.
Well, here's what I think
Ziggy.
chat should do. I think chat should scroll down a little bit and they might see a big red subscribe button if you've been enjoying this, whatever has happened on this show, feel free to click on that. Feel free to like this video. You can put a last second question here. You know, we run a lot of Packers content, but we do other teams too. We have a good time here. We just talk about sports. Paul, Ziggy, Jack, occasionally producer Zach. Usually not producer Zach, but sometimes.
Should we give a 5-minute window to ask whatever they want?
Yes, they get a 5-minute window.
5-minute window.
But
Producer Zach
we
is
don't
getting
have to
5-minute
answer.
window. Yes, you don't
I'll
have to
answer whatever's asked. Producer Zach's calling the shots here.
But
He said,
I'll just say, Aaron Burnett, you say you're not doing so much zone would be nice. Jalen Hurts is a monster against a man and mediocre against zone. So I actually think this game, you really do want the zone coverage.
Yeah, I'll do a 5-minute Ask Me Anything.
I have a question for the chat. Are buffalo wings or just wings in general overrated for football games?
No, not overrated.
on a
We're putting that
scale
to a
of,
poll.
oh god,
They're amazing. They're amazing.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is your mom, Jack? Well, do you see me? She's a 10.
We're not doing that.
A good answer.
Oh,
Jack. I think that's a
Aaron
good
Burnett
answer.
coming in with subbed but no like. I'll take it.
Okay, let's.
Wings are absolutely overrated.
I think wings
A
are
wing
awesome.
might be like. Here's the thing: is the buffalo sauce is the MVP of that, right? The wing is like that guy that's on your team and you think he's great. The wing is Johnny Manziel. To the buffalo sauce is Mike Evans. People think that the wing is so great and so incredible, but you take the wing away from the buffalo sauce. You give it barbecue sauce. You give it lemon pepper. You give it garlic parm or whatever. You realize I don't like the wing. I'm here for the buffalo sauce.
I do also think that the sauce makes the wing, but I think wings
so
are
that's
awesome.
just saying the wing is
Like,
overrated.
But I think wings with sauce is a good football food.
It's
No doubt,
amazing.
but so is anything with sauce.
Well, yes,
Buffalo sauce.
yes,
Like, yeah.
You're
but
crazy.
like-
No, wings are
but like,
amazing, and I will
not
stand
without
for-
sauce. But like wings with like pizza, that's
Well,
a good
yeah, you need
football.
sauce, obviously.
Yeah, but wings with sauce and pizza is a good football Sunday food.
Z-Kit's craving comes in. Is Ziggy bricked up? Wouldn't you like to know?
There's a reason that
Wait.
we only have Ziggy from his
Yeah,
stomach up.
I think Ziggy is pretty
There's
bricked
a
up.
reason we do that.
You can go back and look at the time that I did something I won't speak of and get it.
Especially staring at Paul and I all show. It's got to be kind of bricked
See,
up.
like this is the thing, MZO1, is you say like, what would you put the sauce on then, Ziggy? Like the wing is a good vehicle for the sauce. I'm not denying that. I think the wing's pretty good, but it's just the wing is not like it's nothing special. People think the wing's great. Like you could put buffalo sauce on a mozzarella stick, good. Anything fried, a French fry with buffalo sauce, good. Anything popcorn
Good Lord,
with buffalo
Dan.
sauce, incredible.
Good
I agree.
Lord, Dan.
Buffalo sauce on
That's
anything
an
you want. is
insane
good.
comment.
Have you never had buffalo sauce on popcorn?
What did Dan say?
Dan? I don't even know
You're
if I
getting
can.
a 1 minute timeout.
Okay,
That's not acceptable.
The Nova says, real question for Jack.
This message
Ziggy
Deleted by the
hides
fall
Okay,
fairy.
you're also getting a timeout.
Oh
for that.
no! Here we
Anyway,
go.
Ziggy, you did this to yourself.
Oh no!
The Nova. Real question for Jack. Have you come around on your coaching? Doesn't matter take now that pretty much all the coaches left in the playoffs for NFL and college football are some of the best in the sport.
I think coaching means nothing.
Huh.
I think Andy Reid has Mahomes. This Bills coach, I don't know who he is. He has Josh Allen. Harbaugh has
Sean McDermott.
Harbaugh has Lamar. I think it means nothing.
What about
Bill,
O'Connell?
Bill Belichick sucked when Brady left. Tom was good with Big Ben. Now all of a sudden he sucks.
Marcus Freeman?
I think it's different in pros in college. But like Mike Tomlin sucks now. He was great with Big Ben. Correlation, yes.
Well, does Mike Tomlin
Yes.
suck or does his team suck and he's getting a bad team to the playoffs every year?
That's what I'm saying. His team stinks and Pittsburgh wants him out. How come when he had Big Ben, he was great?
But I'm saying like if you had like
Andy Reid does the
Nathaniel
same
Hackett-
crap. Andy Reid goes 9-8 with the Steelers. Mike Tomlin wins the Super Bowl with Mahomes.
I don't
Like,
I'm
it doesn't matter
I'm not trying
who's-
to throw shade on Nathaniel Hackett.
There's
I'm just
no
picking a recent
such
coach who flopped. If you had Nathaniel Hackett or Josh McDaniels, this Pittsburgh team is probably winning what?
They're
5
it's
games?
just, no,
6
same thing.
games?
We're 9-8.
I don't
And
know.
if Tomlin goes and coaches the Chiefs, he wins the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes. Like I don't think there's such thing as a Hall of Fame coach. There shouldn't be.
You know what? I like what Nick has to say. In college, great coaches make good players. In the NFL, great players make good
Yeah,
coaches.
players are more important.
Yes.
Players are
Great.
more
The
important.
players
But I
make
think particularly in college, you really need a great coach to get guys under control, to
I
get
think
them
yes.
to step up.
College
and
is
play
different
your
than pro
best.
to me. Coaching in college is big. Coaching in the NFL means jack shit.
I completely in the NFL. Sean Payton took this Broncos team from one of the worst in the league to a playoff.
You mean Bo Nix?
No, Bo Nix was fantastic.
But I think part of Bo Nix being great was having a great rookie season was having
The only reason
Sean
Sean
Payton with them.
Payton is known because Drew Brees he rode Drew Brees' coattails to Super Bowl.
I think
Yeah,
he, helped, I
he
think
won
he
Super
helped.
Bowl. Drew Brees
Yes.
was the best coach
I think
ever.
he
Yes.
helped Drew Brees elevate to a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, well, Drew Brees was
No.
terrible in San Diego, right?
No, it wasn't terrible, but I think that Drew Brees would be the first one to say that Sean Payton played a large part in him elevating his game to another level.
All your
Well,
players.
of course he would, because it's a conspiracy. Everyone in the NFL knows coaches don't matter, but they want to keep the gravy train running.
Dude, if you put like, if you take
Why
Lamar,
am I defending Jack? I
if-
think this take is ridiculous.
no, because
what am I doing?
Because you know I'm right. I mean, take Lamar off the Ravens, put in some schlub, and Harbaugh sucks. I mean, it's like it's all your players. It's who your quarterback is. I mean, come on.
What about the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh this year? Last year, maybe the team might have been more talented. Justin Herbert's there. You have Keenan Allen. You have Mike Williams and Austin Eckler before they completely fell off a cliff.
I mean, he has Herbert.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
were
but so
injured.
did everyone.
They were
They-
injured last
Yeah,
year.
like what
a
are they?
lot.
What
They
are
had
they?
Herbert last season.
What are they? What are they? 9-8 the
Oh,
Chargers.
hold on.
or
No, this is a real question. This
Playoff
is from
team.
Kelly Weir, and we're
11
sending it
wins.
to
Yeah, so
producer
are we.
Zach.
11 wins.
Silence.
Against
This is
crap.
going to producer Zach.
Didn't get anybody good all year.
Silence
Zach,
Village.
nobody asked you. Who do you have for the first touchdown today?
Oh,
Saquon
first
Barkley.
touchdown today? No.
Producer Zach, he's a monster on any times. I don't know. Maybe if you're really not
No, this
comfortable
is-
with first touchdown, you can go anytime.
This
but-
is definitely an AJ Brown first down.
It's gonna be like a 50-yard bomb. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go AJ Brown too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's smelling like an AJ Brown type of game. I feel like the Packers are really gonna stack the line, and then AJ Brown is gonna be wide open, just saucing everybody in.
No, not Devontae. It'll be AJ Brown.
No, Devontae hasn't done that.
Yeah. Thanks. Dragon or with Bill Belichick. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the Mick Lovin keeps asking our thoughts on the X Pomsky X banner? Have you seen that banner?
No, what?
Jack, did X Pomsky X send a banner and you just didn't share it with us?
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
A banner? Like the score banner?
I don't know. It just says banner.
I have 18 unread Instagram DMs. I don't really check those.
X Pomsky X sent us a very nice
Jack's
and
not used
very,
to the fame.
very good looking banner for our live shows to have the scoreboard up.
Oh,
If that's what we're talking about. I don't know what.
I assume that's it. So we love it, apparently.
Yeah, it's great. It looks
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
It looks very, very
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I see it. This banner's good.
All right. Our chat's ridiculous.
I just-
It's
is it?
best kind of barbecue, Texas, 56%. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Wait, Ziggy, do you own a meat line shop?
What?
I just saw
What?
a message from XPomsky X. He was in like the grocery store or something, and he came across Ziggy's corned beef for $2.44. Is that you?
There's also Ziegler trucking. You ever be on a road trip and you
Yes.
see the Ziegler trucks?
Yes. But Ziggy, is this your meat brand?
I'll tell you about a brand. How about Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis?
I'll
That
tell
proves
you about
coaching
meat.
matters.
I thought he was going to say the same thing.
I got a question. Blue cheese or ranch?
Ranch.
Ranch.
They're
Blue cheese
both
sucks.
gross.
Yeah, I'm not.
Really?
I'm enjoying blue cheese more as I've matured, but I really don't ever ask for it. If it's there and I think it's ranch, then I like it.
I mean, any sort of white substance I'll take.
All
Okay.
right. We've gone an hour. We've still got 300 watching. We appreciate every single one of you, but I'm not sure we got anything else here, fellas, before this game.
Yeah, let's
If the
do guinea
Packers
pigs.
win, are we doing a live after?
We're
We're for sure recording a react, but if the Packers win, we got to go live.
yeah, we could probably go live. All right, so we'll do real quick. We'll do our game picks. Yeah, if the Packers win, we'll probably
Yeah,
go
and
live.
you're putting on the Jordan Love jersey for it.
Oh
You agreed. You just agreed.
Okay,
You said you'd do it.
I did.
Packers win. We're going live. Paul's wearing the Jordan Love youth jersey, which really shows off.
I'll bring
put on
my-
the Packers
Josh
poncho,
Allen.
Lovable Packers.
I'll
party.
bring my girl on.
Josh
there.
Allen, 18 total touchdowns in the wild card round, most in wild card history.
I thought you meant for this one game.
No,
Also,
I-
since we
yeah.
asked about barbecue, I have to say, Jack, you say you love anything white. Alabama white barbecue sauce is terrible.
I'm the white sauce wonder.
Okay, score predictions for the game. Let's go. I'm gonna go. Eagles win 27-20.
I'm gonna say 31-14 Eagles.
Oof.
You're predicting a blowout.
Yeah.
I've got, you know what? Packers 34, Eagles 23.
All right, let us know in the comment
I
section
feel
right
it.
now.
I'm feeling the magic. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to come out slow and it's not going to work.
Let us know in the comments right now. Was it Ziggy? A 1 for the Packers and a 2 for the Eagles. Who you have winning this
Yep.
game? As we answer John Exler's question. Jack, have you visited the Ice Wallowcombe ice cream shop in Philly?
No, I've been to Founding Fathers in Philly, but
Wallacom?
yet to check out. Thanks for the recommendation, though. Next time I'm there, I'll check it out.
Man, the people love
Wait,
you, Ziggy.
Are you serious, Jack?
What?
You didn't, Paul? Surely you picked up on it.
No, I didn't. What, Jack? If you visited the... Oh,
Don't read it out loud again.
Oh, I'd love to. But
okay.
Yeah,
so,
look, we got the Zigster
we got
coming
God.
in here.
Yes,
I
we got
really,
God, yes.
I say what I think, right? I predicted the Packers.
we
losing
don't
to
see
the
those things. You
49ers.
and
It
I.
happened.
I
I predicted the Packers last year beating the Cowboys. If you remember that, I said they were going to knock the Cowboys out. It happened. I think there's vulnerabilities on this Philly team. I've said all along, I think of all the wild card teams, the Packers match up the best against them. I really think the Packers can win this game.
Paul, I think Paul is like 0-10 against the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see that either. I had no clue.
That actually took me way longer than it should have to get. I was like, I'm reading, I'm going like, ice. Oh, okay. Ice, yeah. All right. I'm going to move on from that.
All right. Well, that's the score predictions. It's we appreciated having you all on here. We've been above 300 basically the whole time. If the Packers win, we'll probably break 3,000. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all for showing up.
Yep. This has been awesome. And we'll see you guys for the reaction show afterwards live